vacation has started. That first sip of beer.
So
The
good.
Cascades just get horribly boring for everyone. Not sure if I should talk about all the hard work we put into
Oh my god, we had such a day, and it's not even over yet. So let me run you through what happened today. The plan was to have breakfast. We had breakfast at the cabin there, at the lodge, very nice. We saw the horse in the morning and planning to go for a hike. We got to the hike, the trail area, and for some reason, this region now in Australia is full of flies, and those very annoying flies. They stick to you. So we started walking for about 3 minutes, and the family started saying, wow, why do we have to hike? Oh, these flies are crazy. I don't want to do it anymore. So that was like 10:30 a.m. My plan was to hike for about an hour and a bit, go to a very beautiful winery called Hidden something, and then come to the tram place, which is what we're doing now. So that messed up my plans, right? That was the shortest hike in the world, maybe 1 minute. Then we had to go back to the car, drive to somewhere else. In the end, we decided to go to a new winery for lunch. So it's called Mountford Wines and Tangletoe Cidery. Beautiful, quite far away, interesting wines and interesting cider. I tasted the original British style, English style cider, which is not the one that you find in the commerce. It's not sparkling, it's not sweet. It's basically like apple cider vinegar, but less vinegary. So we spent some time there, and then it was close to lunch, so we decided to go to what's the name? Hidden River Estate. And they serve lunch, etc. So remember that this area has no connection, there's no internet, so luckily I downloaded Google Maps. So I followed the map. The map took us into a dirt road, an endless dirt road, and then it took us on a very, very small path, overgrown trees, branches fallen on the road. But I said, okay, the map shows this way, I'll take this way. From my left side, I already heard some comments, oh, don't take this way. So about 3-4 kilometers into this, it really got very muddy and full of branches and fallen trees, and it was only one way. Honestly, we couldn't reverse, we couldn't turn the car, right? You know, a little bit of panic settled in, but we managed it well. So I had to reverse the car for a couple of kilometers. A lot of branches, you know, the car sensors went crazy. The car stopped, you know, because there were so many branches. They thought it was close to other car, etc. So the sensors really stopped us. Funny thing is, this place, Hidden River Estate, I tried to make a reservation yesterday on the internet. We have some Wi-Fi. You make a reservation, it's a request, and then they'll get back to you. So I got a message, an email this morning saying it was rejected, so I thought it was fully booked, right? I did another one today, and I also called because I got some phone network, and I told them my name, and guess what? They said, oh, I had you booked for lunch today, but we had a problem with our reservation system, so yes, you couldn't tell you. So luckily, we are heading there tomorrow. Please stick around. Let's hope this place is amazing. Let's hope the food is good, because it's been quite a journey, unforgettable. Now we had a short tram ride around Pemberton here. It's an old tram, very interesting. And now we have about half an hour at the Cascades, which is some small waterfall next to a river. It's a beautiful weather, beautiful place, full of nature. As you can see, what can you want more than this? It's just an amazing way to spend the time in Australia.
So good.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Over the last 3 years, we somehow turned road trips into our thing. We've done the classic Western Australia drive from Perth to Margaret River. We've driven from Sydney to Melbourne, and we even did a Tasmania loop, or a kind of loop. We didn't really do the whole loop. Those trips were really amazing. We love to do road trips, but they were also very well-known routes. You know, big highlights, popular stops, places everyone goes, back to tourists. So this year, we wanted to do something a little bit different. Instead of chasing the famous spots, we decided to slow things down and explore Western Australia's sleepy towns. For this trip, we are skipping big cities, although we landed in Perth and we couldn't not go to Hay Street, have some pho at our favorite Vietnamese place, of course buy some very affordable wine. So this year we're doing a road trip through small, quiet and sleepy town. Places with empty main streets, old pubs, nice drives, and absolutely no sense of urgency. The kind of towns where if you blink, you might already be past them. So over the next 11 days, we'll be staying in York, where you currently are, Katanning, Denmark, Walpole, Albany, Upper Warren region, and finally Collie, which is the sleepy cousin of Banbury. It's basically a loop through southern Western Australia. Inland first, then down to the coast, into the forests and back up again. Some of these places you've probably never heard of, and some of them you might only know from road signs you've never stopped at. Now we are in York, not New York, but York, Western Australia, and it's a pretty great place to start. York is actually the first inland settlement in Western Australia, established back in 1831. So while it's quiet now, it is really quiet. It used to be a pretty important place. So walking around the main street in York feels like really stepping into a Hollywood movie set. You know, it's a time capsule. It looks like those westerns where you have the pub, the city hall and the bank and those red brick type of buildings. So historic buildings, you know, wide streets, old pubs and, you know, just enough cafes to remind you it's still 2025. So really, this is what this trip is about. We wanted places where you're not rushing, where there's no pressure to be productive or tick things off a list. Sleepy towns force you to really slow down because there's really nothing else to do. Your biggest decision of the day becomes bakery or pub. So stick around with us. If you haven't watched the other adventures in Australia and beyond, please check our channel. The videos are right there. Subscribe, comment, drop a like if you want. Looking forward to the next adventures. We're heading to the wet belt Western Australia with blue skies and easy life. See you later. We are at the farm. This is what we see. Very tiny mouse. So, funny story, we didn't actually make it to Katanning. We planned to stay in Katanning, but we didn't. So technically, yes, we were still in the Katanning district, but not the town. Our accommodation ended up being in Wagin, smaller town about 50 kilometers from Katanning. But honestly, it turned out to be one of the best surprises of the trip so far. We stayed at this absolutely beautiful ranch. There were horses, chickens, and two adorable dogs who clearly decided that we were their best new friends, like zero personal space and non-stop playing with the ball. The Wagin itself is the kind of town where there's one restaurant. When there's one restaurant, you don't ask where we're eating. You just think, is it open? But that's also what makes these places great, as I mentioned. There's no decision fatigue. We did a short hike out to Punta Pinrock, which is a massive granite just outside town. It's a pretty easy 5-10 minutes walk, nice views, and it really makes you appreciate how flat and wide open this part of Western Australia is. Then came the most unexpected part. We went to a local shop to buy groceries, and the girl at the checkout casually goes, "Oh, by the way, there's a carnival in town tonight," which is not something you expect to hear in a tiny town like this. And we ended up spending the evening at the local carnival. Some barbecue, some music, some games, and obviously the whole town came there. But that's kind of the magic of the trip. You make a plan, and then the best stuff happens when it goes slightly wrong. Today we're headed south to Denmark, and we got a winery lunch lined up, which feels like a very smooth transition from country carnivals to farm dogs. So stay with us. So after a few days of wheat belt towns and farm stays, we finally made it to Denmark. That's in Western Australia, Denmark, not Europe, Scandinavia, Denmark. And this is where the trip really shifts. Everything turns suddenly green. The air gets cooler and you feel you've entered a completely different version of Western Australia. To give you an example, it was about 36 degrees Celsius in Perth and inland, and currently it's about 11 degrees Celsius at night and about maximum 20 degrees during the day. And today is really cold. It's chilly, it's been rainy. It's really chilly. So first impression of Denmark, really nice balance. It's small, relaxed, just enough going on that you don't feel stuck. Great wines, great beaches, forests, and nothing really feels rushed. It's the kind of place you arrive and immediately go, but yeah, you can also stay a bit longer. We stayed here about 2 nights. So in Denmark, we decided to do wineries. Lots of wineries here. It's not Margaret River, but lots of wineries. Very close by to the city, just a 5-10 minutes drive. We started with Forest Hill Winery. They have a nice restaurant, pepper and salt, a bit upscale. Great local produce paired with wine that really works. Today is Monday and we woke up with a not heavy rain but cold rain, and we came to Single File Wines, which is pretty iconic in this region. I noticed they have lots of words. And then there's the nature side of Denmark. We went out to the dam, which is a massive restaurant and brewery. It was really great lunch that we had there. We also checked out the ocean beach, which feels big and open and dramatic. Then we checked out the Greens Pool, which honestly feels like a cheat code. Crystal clear water, white sand, protected by rocks. It feels surreal. Now, after all that, we decided to have a quiet night in, something simple. And let's just cook an easy dinner at a motel, we said. And okay, let's go to IGA to buy a few things. And somehow that easy dinner turned out into $100+ worth of groceries. We bought a very good beef, fresh pasta, some freshly made sauce, which sounds weird, but it was a freshly made sauce. And we made a full bolognese, so cooked, very serious, absolutely worth it. Washed it down with some excellent wine from the region. So pretty much that really summed up what we love to do and what we love to do sometimes on these road trips. Great food, beautiful places, no rushing, and the occasional moment where things spiral slightly in a good way. All right, next stop, more forests and probably more food. Stay with us. Can we talk about how everything in Australia closes early? Like you finish work at 5, great, you're feeling productive, you're thinking, I'll just go out and grab a few things. No, Australia said absolutely not. Shops close at 5, cafes close at 2, kitchens close at 7 or 8, and if you blink too long, closed. But nothing really hurts more than when a bottle shop closes early. Like today, it's 5:30 p.m, closes at 5. We missed it by half an hour. That's emotional damage. You walk confident, keys in hand, already tasting a beer, pull the door, it's closed. Greetings from Walpole, very beautiful town where everything closes very early. They have 3 restaurants. One is for sale and closed. The other one opened at 6, so we got there at 6:02. Got some beef curry, some tandoori chicken pizza, and yes, I was looking forward to having a cold beer while waiting, but no, not in Australia. It's closed. Not in Walpole, actually. It's closed. So just outside Walpole, we went to the Valley of the Giants Treetop walk. And honestly, this place is something else. You start on the ground thinking it's just another forest walk, and then suddenly you're up in the canopy, 40 meters above the forest floor. Walking among trees, these massive trees that have been there for centuries, I think 400 years. It's a metal walkway that kind of sways just enough to make you question your life choices. Not scary, but definitely bouncy enough to keep things interested. And what's wild is just how quiet it gets up there. You're above birds, the air smells like eucalyptus, and you just feel small, like nature reminding you who is the boss. After the treetop section, there's the Ancient Empire walk. Now, the treetop is probably 10-15 minutes, depending on your pace. Ticket is about $21 for adults, and I think half of that for kids below 15 years old. There's the Ancient Empire tree walk with giant trees. Some are big, you can actually walk through. It's not a long walk, as I mentioned, but it's one of those places that makes you slow down. No rush, just you, the trees, and the occasional nervous laugh from someone on the wobbly bridge behind you. If you're anywhere near Walpole, this is a must-do. It's beautiful and peaceful and slightly terrifying in the best possible way. 8 out of 10. We've seen a bigger one in New Zealand, Redwood. If you're ever there, try that then as well. So after a few days of moving around, we finally settled into Albany, West Australia, that is. And honestly, it felt like a really nice stop. It's one of those places where it's not just passing by, it just feels very nice to stop. It feels very familiar. It's a small town, but it kind of reminds me of Margaret River. Not in how it looks exactly, but in the vibe. It's coastal, relaxed, and it feels like a place where people come to slow down and then accidentally stay longer. So we stayed in a chalet just outside the town, which was perfect. Later we'll have a bit of a barbecue and it's Christmas, so we're gonna have some Christmas dinner. Quiet, surrounded by nature. Food-wise, a couple of restaurants in town, and depending on the period, make sure you make a reservation. We love to a place called Majuba Bistro, a French type of bistro. Relaxed, busy, and I loved very much that their reservation system is a good old pick up the phone and call. We saw so many people being turned away. Today is a beautiful day. We visited the Anzac Center, which is honestly a very impressive museum. All looking beautiful, all interactive. It's really worth the $25 that you pay. Thoughtful, immersive, and genuinely moving without being over the top. You learn about history, sacrifice, and hopefully you learn not to make the same mistake in the future. You walk through the stories of the soldiers who left from Albany, and it really puts the place into perspective. It's heavy, but in a good way. Definitely worth taking time to do it properly. Albany has some amazing coastal hikes, and we're going to probably do a few more. We did a lot of hiking around the cliffs and coastline, and the views are unreal. Dramatic, windy, it's very, very windy, and completely different from the beaches further north. It's one of those places where you can go from town to forest to rugged coastline in about 10 minutes.
Ooh, what are we cooking? Wow, so good.
So we really like sometimes simple food, nothing complicated, nothing overworked, just good ingredients cooked properly. Produce speak for itself, good quality meat, simple seasoning. So let's talk about Misery Beach. First of all, absolutely terrible name, but incredible beach. At some point it was actually named the best beach in Australia, and after coming here, yeah, I get it. It's beautiful. It's tucked away just outside Albany, and it doesn't feel busy or overwhelmed. You walk down and suddenly you're standing on this perfect stretch of white sand with white clear water and nothing else going on. No cafes, no background noise except the wind. Very, very windy today. And no matter how cold it is, I'm gonna get into the water. It's just me and the ocean. What makes Misery Beach special isn't that it's massive or dramatic. It's how balanced it feels. Also, it's a contrast between the name and the place is kind of perfect. Misery Beach, worst name, best beach. So remember how I said Misery Beach was probably the best beach in Australia? Turns out the name is a little more accurate than I originally thought. While we were there swimming, walking around, enjoying life, the big waves and big currents, I managed to lose my ring. It's just gone. No dramatic moment, no slow motion realization, just gone. So yeah, somewhere at Misery Beach in Australia, there's now a ring living its best life. Honestly, if you're going to lose something, it's not a bad place to do it. And I guess it kind of adds to the memory and to the story. Beautiful beach, perfect day, perfect weather, one small sacrifice to the nature and to the ocean. We just left Albany and about 30 minutes drive. We are here in Mount Barker, a small country town in Western Australia's great southern region. And it's also the main gateway to one of the great standout hikes, Castle Rock and the Granite. The hike to the Skywalk, where we are going now, it's about 4.4 kilometers return. Takes maybe 1 hour, a bit more at a relaxed pace. It starts slow, but it has a steady incline. It's well maintained, and as you can see, it's really beautiful in the forest. It's one of those places that really captures the scale and beauty of the great southern. If you're visiting Albany and want a hike that delivers big views without needing a full day, Mount Barker and the Granite Skywalk are an easy must to do. Oh, it's beautiful up here. Bit of a hike. The last part is not easy. Involves a lot of boulders, so not suitable for kids or more older people. It's very windy. It's been hot going up. Now we are on top of a small hill, still called mountain, but it's so windy, but it's beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. All right, going back now. Hello again. We're staying now at a very remote place. It's about 8 kilometers off the main road on a dirt track and maybe 30 kilometers or more from the first town. Once you turn in, there's no traffic, no noise, and no signs of life at all. There's no phone signal here, only SOS, and the Wi-Fi barely works. You need to walk maybe 100-200 meters towards the main house to get it. At first, it really feels strange. Why are we in this remote place? You reach for your phone and there's nothing. But after a while, it feels peaceful. Everything is simple. You wake up with natural light, with birds singing, sometimes a bit too loud. I think one of them came about 6 a.m. Wind in the trees, no alarms, no notifications, no background noise. At night, obviously it's completely dark, just the sky, millions of stars. I know I promised barbecue, but I guess we were too hungry and forgot to take a video. But I also promised horse, and here it is. Last night he didn't come to us. Normally he comes here. This is the main dining room. But here he is in the morning. I think he wants some apple.
You'll get him to stand still if you give him a carrot. Those are his
There
carrots.
we go. He's gonna have a carrot.
Ken does carrots middle of January.
The main dining area.
Finally, we found this place without getting ourselves killed.
The misadventure yesterday, we finally arrived at Hidden River. Better be worth it. We'll see. It looks good. It's a beautiful day. We get lots of flies.
What are you doing? I don't know yet. I'm gonna have an oyster.
We were too hungry to do anything yesterday, such as video, so we had to redo today. So here's our typical dinner when we travel on a bad day, I think. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, just a little bit of lobster, some of these little puppies, and we'll have a, this is for me a bit later, piece of steak. In Australia is just cheaper than bread, I think. Beautiful. Some Australian wine here to go. Perfect way to finish a trip. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us every trip that we take. Subscribe, comment. See you on the next adventure. Bye bye.